Greetings and welcome aboard to the Heavy Metal Truckers. Finally!
Yeah.
So much goddamn troubleshooting, I gotta figure some stuff out, but we will get to that later. We are your hosts. I am Pincushion, this is Frosty, and that's Doppler. So, in this video, we're actually going to be doing many things today, or we plan on it, and they'll be split up into separate videos. In this video, we are going to be checking out a new single by the Japanese metal group Jiluka. Kvlt, right? Because I almost forgot again. Because I'm so brilliant at doing that. Okay, cool. So give me just a moment.
Kvlt with a K and a V.
Yep. Okay, so give me just a moment, and we will get this straightened out. What do you guys think so far? The justice as you mean. Wait, what?
Oh, I didn't say anything yet.
Oh, okay.
Now, in full disclosure, out of everything we're going to be listening to, well, with the exception of the Killswitch album that we're going to do a little bit, this is the only thing that I've already listened to.
Oh.
It's been a while. It's been like 2 weeks now. But I do remember that I was not, and even still now, I wasn't a fan of basically from the start of the song through this hip-hop part. Like, I don't typically have an issue with hip-hop or rap and metal. Just for this song, and I think as the song goes on, maybe you and the listeners will see what I mean. It could have done without it.
Do you feel like it's the way it was composed?
Possibly. It just, by the time you get to the end of the song, it felt slightly out of place to me.
It's kind of giving me like Falling in Reverse's new stuff vibes, like the whole hip-hop rap aspect of it. It's never really been my biggest cup of tea, to be honest. But I mean,
yeah, now they don't really do it the rest of the song. That's one of the reasons why it feels slightly out of place to me.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, I am so sorry. Just kicked one of my cats.
There's what is it? It was a Falling in Reverse song that came out, I think, like 2 years ago. That they had like rap or
he's been mixing
pop or something in the very beginning of it, and then like it hits to the actual like metal portion of the song, and I'm like, okay, the metal portion sounds fine, but the rest of it's just I couldn't, I didn't see the reason why you either have one or the other. Like, if you're going to do both of them together, kind of mix them in a more, recognizable way where they kind of work together instead of working separate.
What he's trying to say is cohesive.
Yeah, and it's funny that he brings up Falling in Reverse because Papa Roach just put out a new song as well. And when I was listening to it, all I could feel like listening to it is I feel like that song was a Falling in Reverse copycat. But anywho, that was completely off topic.
Off board, like just offhand, for what this is, interestingly enough, it's actually very well constructed as far as I'm concerned.
It is. I'll give it that.
Yeah, so again, for what it is, it's well constructed and well planned, but we are sinking into the world of having everything so properly aligned that it's almost a psychoacoustic of everything's proper, everything's balanced. This can meld with a catchiness that can hold on to some people. Now, is it my personal, through my own personal bias? I'm not a big fan of it. I don't care for it, but for what it is, it's well structured. But
Yeah, like
we will continue on.
continue on.
Well, if you would say it.
So definitely an attention grabber.
So we will continue on.
I'm just a blue pop the blue. I built the fort, just call me Lord 24. Lie your face, this is cold. This is so fast, you can't perfection, break it out. All around, but just this one drop. Countdown, what's your tomorrow? This is so fast, you can't perfection. You lost in darkness, cloud. It is no escape. I'm a turtle by yourself. Without me, so heal me now. Don't want to serve yourself. It's coming my name. Right up back, yes I am down. I get cold. Get this! Just like this mine! Just like this mine! Lost in darkness, cloud. Met with no escape. I bet you can find yourself without me. You're lost in darkness, cloud. Met with no escape. I bet you can find yourself without me. So heal me now. Don't want to serve yourself. It's calling my name. Right up back, yes I am down. I get cold.
All right. That was a big hodgepodge of what the fuck was that in whose mind did that seem cohesive? Because it was a hodgepodge of all kinds of stuff going on. It didn't really the only parts for me that really actually made any kind of sense, or that kind of had any kind of sustenance to it was whenever they had the symphonic elements with the traditional deathcore aspects, which I know people have been doing more, and it definitely has been breaking the monotony of standard deathcore, but still just the way it's still being conducted, it's like, wow, R2D2 makes some great tunes these days.
I was gonna say they used a lot of electronic elements.
I mean, and there was, and I mean, it was bordering pretty much on techno 80. It was bordering on like
At times, yeah.
like not necessarily industrial metal at all. It's like more, I don't even want to say techno metal, but yeah, I don't know what the fuck you call it, but it was just, I don't know if they were just trying to, which we've mentioned this before, groups need to push boundaries so that we can have progress within the metal world. However, there is some that's just like, let's put the bong down for just a moment and let's listen to this and actually hear it before we consider releasing this. Now, of course, as everything, these are just our personal thoughts on the matter. Everyone else can thoroughly enjoy it and have life fulfillingness with that, but for me, that was too much unorthodox chaos.
And it's funny you say that because the first time I listened to it 2 weeks ago, I do remember my thoughts were very similar. You know, I kind of felt like it was kind of all over the place, but not necessarily in a good way.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong,
because-
you know, my initial thought wasn't that it was bad, it just wasn't pleasing for me. Now, I will say the second time listening to it, I was listening to it more just to listen to it as a listener than I was like the first time when I was kind of analyzing it, psychoanalyzing it, we're going to call.
Yeah. No, that one is.
I enjoyed it a little bit more this time than I did the first time.
If it's something more like going on in the background, it could be intriguing. But if you're trying to potentially critically analyze this or just analyze this on a deeper level than most might, no, at least for me, there's much to be desired out of that.
You know, when you compare it to Venom, which Venom was fantastic.
This is just fucking ADD metal.
Yeah, we both thoroughly enjoyed Venom. This one was definitely a step down. Like, there were some good things going on in the song, don't get me wrong. But yeah, when the first time I listened to it, I kind of felt a lot of the ways you did as you were just talking. Now, this time I enjoyed it a little bit more because I wasn't listening to it with that kind of the same analytical, analyzing type mindset. So I don't know if that made a difference or not, or if it's just, you know, second time through, it wasn't.
I mean,
It grew on me a tiny bit. I don't know.
Again, it's almost like it could have become an acquired taste potentially, and there's always room for that to occur.
And I still did not care for the rap at the beginning because it still felt out of place to me.
That is
Just the
beyond
song.
out of place, and that literally feels put in just to be able to grab some mainstream.
Initial attention, yeah, and some mainstream. Yeah,
And so, like, just that.
I could have
little-
done without that.
Yeah, it was completely.
Like I said, it's not a knock on rap and metal. Like, there's lots of
No, there's
metal
stuff that
songs that have
sounds
rap in it, but
okay
I
and
don't
that fits, but this was
This-
just
it just
dismal.
didn't work for me.
Yeah.
What does Mr. Frosty think?
Pretty much what both of you guys are saying. I mean, there were aspects of the song that I enjoyed. Definitely the pentatonic stuff in the middle section of the song. As Pincushion here has said, the symphonic stuff. The symphonic stuff in metal is what grabs my attention more than anything else. So definitely enjoyed the section. Like you said, there, Doppler, the opening sequence just. I mean, I get that it's an attention grabber. However, it just doesn't necessarily seem to fit for me.
Yes.
You know, and then the like the techno stuff at the very end. It's like, all right, we first had hip hop, now we've got techno. Let's try and have one or the other if you're going to throw it into the song instead of setting both into the song at the same time. I mean, it was kind of just not cohesive to me at all. I mean, like I said, the only cohesive section was the center of the song.
Yeah, I think I get where you're coming from, and I do agree with you. I think they could have done this the electronic or synthesized parts with and the symphonic parts, but if they had done them together in a way that it was cohesive instead of having them like separated the way they did, I think it would have worked better.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it more or less just sounds like you took like an aspect of one song here, an aspect of this song here, and then an aspect of this song here, and then just took all three of them and threw them into one song and hoped that the message would get across. And to me, like, it just didn't mesh so well.
You know, in some ways, the song felt a little experimental, and
I was about to say it was reaching the avant-garde area.
Yeah, and I'm all for bands doing that. I applaud them for pushing the envelope, going, yeah. And for some people, I'm sure it worked, and there's people out there who probably think we're a bunch of idiots and probably absolutely love this. Nothing wrong with that.
After Love Bites, there's a lot of people who think we're idiots, so I don't care anymore.
Well, first time with Love Bites, anyway. They tend to appreciated us a little bit more the second two times. But,
yeah, once I changed their setup. But I mean, and I again, like you said, whenever they started putting multiple aspects together, I admire and respect them for trying to do that. Just because, like Eddie Lee said, you have 3 influences, you're derivative. If you have 100, you're original.
yeah, and like I said, I think if they had meshed them better, it would have worked better. I think the way they did it, they were a little too stark from each other because they I don't know, it's hard to describe.
All right, well, that's been that. Any final words from either one of you guys?
No.
All right, cool. Well, we're moving on. Until then, guys, we hope you enjoyed this, and as always, keep rolling heavy.